welcome to the first Slice of Citadel in Miami, Florida.
We're going to bring the team to the room right now.
Every day when no one sees you, when the media is not there, is really work hard.
Gentlemen, so why do we call this a Slice of Citadel? For two reasons. One, it is literally a slice of our two firms, Citadel Securities, engineers, analysts, researchers, traders, etc. Two, we enjoy slices after this conversation, a little flip of our usual, of America's favorite food group, pizza. Pizza made its way to the United States in the 1880s by way of Italian immigrants. It started in New York and made its way west and made its way south. And here in the south, in Miami, the leading purveyors of pizza is Miami Slice Hospitality. Please welcome two of its managing partners, Alejandro Diaz and Manuel Pinedo, Miami Slice.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you for having us.
Tell our friends a little bit about what we're looking at, your slice bar and the way you do your dough iterations.
So we're both from Venezuela, and we're actually not culinarily trained. We learned the craft by doing it the hard way, which is a lot of trial and error. And we always joke, mostly error. That's the way you learn. And so in the process of kind of creating this dough, we got obsessed over best dough possible, best ingredients possible, and best experience possible. We wanted to make sure that we were able to get something very special, and eating the pizza at the Slice Bar is very different than having anywhere else. So,
thank you, gentlemen. Let's give them a big round. So there's another great tradition imported from Europe, in addition to pizza, and that is football. We call it soccer here. 1863 in London, the Football Association is founded, and they publish their first rules of the game. And then just a couple years later, 1869, Rutgers versus Princeton, the first US college match. Fast forward to the 1980s, kids all over America are playing soccer on the pitches. Even here in Boca Raton, there's a kid named Ken Griffin playing soccer on the pitches. Big fan of the game. Fast forward even more to 2024, and Ken sees a problem in need of a solution. And to tell you how we got from 2024 to the dawn of the World Cup 2026, I'd love to invite my colleague and friend, Julia Quinn, Director of Philanthropy, to tell us that story. Julia.
Thank you, Josh. Hi, everyone. Thank you so very much, Coach, for kicking off what will be a very busy and we hope very winning year with us here at Citadel and Citadel Securities. So as Josh mentioned, Ken has been a lifelong fan of the game, first as a player, then as a coach, now as a very proud member of the host committee for Miami for the World Cup. So when Ken and our great partners at US Soccer saw a gap in leadership for the US men's national team, he was very proud to play a role in helping bring US Soccer to the next level in time for the World Cup. And that meant getting Coach Mauricio to wear the red, white, and blue. So we are so happy you're here. I think everyone in this room knows the importance of coaches and mentors and the role that they play in our lives. So thank you for your leadership for all of our team members. And I'll hand it off to Dane to get us going.
So everyone got something on the way in, right? Here's my request. If you are able, put it on. We're going to bring the team to the room right now. All right, Coach.
I need to wear something. Bye. Thank you. Beautiful. I don't know if you know about that. Miracle? Say something about that?
It's a miracle on ice.
Okay, we go for the miracle.
All right. Beautiful. All right, Coach, we're here for you, and we're here to learn. For a lot of the people in this room, right, when they signed their first contract, a lot of that, for some people, it was here with Citadel and Citadel Securities. For other people, it was other places. They were at least sometime during the day. Could you just tell a little bit about when you first signed your contract?
I was sleeping. That was amazing because First of all, I want to say thank you, Ken, and all the family in Citadel for the welcome. And for me, it's an honor, but also it's a massive responsibility to translate, how I feel, my energy, and knowledge about life. Because on the end, it's life. We are in soccer, we are in football, you are in a different company, but on the end, what always is going to we always remember is if we create good emotion now here, and the feeling that we are going to keep after this hour or hour and a half together. It's true. I was sleeping, and my dad and my mom received some people from a club, Newell's Old Boys, the Rosario. And the day after, my dad and my mom say, Mauricio, you need to move to Rosario because you need to play for this club, for Newell's Old Boys. I said, okay, I need to go.
How old are you at this point?
I was 13 years old.
13 years old.
I wasn't interested in money. I wasn't interested in only. I was interested in to keep the ball forward, and try to score goals and to get the ball back for me, for my teammate, and try to stop that the opponent score goals. That was my goal. Nothing more than that. I didn't need anything. That was everything for me.
So I'm gonna pivot real quick. So the quote is, belief is the most important thing in football. Not quality, running, or being strong, but belief, faith, and fight. Tell me about that.
I explain. It's important run, it's important the quality. It's really important, it's really important. But I think without belief, without emotion, if you don't show passion, if you don't have the right body language, if you don't have this quality or these qualities, it's difficult because talent is nothing if you don't have all another qualities. It's the most difficult thing is to add another thing. It's the capacity to really believe, it's the capacity to be consistent, it's the capacity to every day when no one see you, when the media is not there, is really work hard. Nutrition is important because feed your muscle. The most important muscle, that is the brain. You the same. If you don't look after that muscle, after, it's difficult to perform in your best. That is why I think people believe in soccer or in football that is only process or is only a strategy or talking about system or talking about things that are good. For that is so important to create a good culture. The culture is the culture. What means culture? Culture is create habits, small things that you create, each day, every day, that is a culture that after bring you to the last level, bring you to be successful, bring you to win, bring you to, on the end, to leave a legacy when you work in some company. In that case, in your company, that is different to another company like is soccer, but we are similar. I think we have similar standards, similar values, similar habits, and I think we can compare and be in the same level. No?
So you touched a little bit on a culture and culture of belief. What are one or two things that you do to get your team to believe in one another?
The first thing for me, and sometimes it's easier, because it's a company, 26 players, maybe 50 staff working around, the most closer people working with the team. I think you need to know the person first. Mm-hmm. And you need to spend time in really know every single person. Because for me, that is the key point. First, if you have 50 staff, you need to know how they think, how they are, how they, everything, how can be, how can affect in a negative or in a positive way. Why? Because they are closer to the player. And then it's another thing, is to know the player. They need to find something that they can share, that they can how they're going to stick in one thing. And that is part of your job. It's not only to design the best tactic to play against another team. It's how you are going to try to really know each other, feel something, create some link, an emotion that I want to fight for you and you want to fight for me. When you believe, you go to this energy is going to try to adapt, the situation. But you really need to believe, because 26 players, 50 people, how we can, create that energy, that power energy, that after to fight again another 26 and 50 staff. That is really, really important. No?
Ultimately, it's about taking care of your people, nurturing them physically, mentally, and then getting them to believe in one another. And that's true here as well. And so as managers in the room who have new managers or managers of managers, I think taking that lesson away of you are responsible not only for the work, but also the best work comes out when people are working together and trust one another.
For me, the most important is our responsibility to be really honest. No, be honest, not really honest. I don't believe in I am 90% of honest. No, you are honest or you are not honest. It's not only what I'm going to tell them or going to say in the meetings, because words are, I don't believe in words. I believe in acts. I believe in more in the energy than in the word. And for that, you need to be very consistent in the way that the thing that you say and after how you act after that. But the responsibility of my player, in that case you, or staff, in that case you, is to know your leader, what they expect from you. Little by little, step by step, you are creating and growing in this way. And the important thing is, like I said before, I need to know you to understand, but your responsibility is to know me, which type of leader. But I need to be very open and honest, and I think that is the type of leaders that I want. Another thing is, when you work in a collective way, because sport is a collective way, or you work for a company that you need to, all the goals are collective, you need to trust in the leader that is going to recognize your capacity and your quality. But not to fear that someone is going to take my place. No. You do your best. You add your quality for the company. You add the quality for yourself because you feel really, satisfied about the job that you are doing. Maybe you say to me, you are not talking about 1-4-4-2 or no? Why you play with 3 on the bill, with 3 on the back or like this? That doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you don't have all that thing that we were talking now, no?
I love it. Let's talk a little bit about that. So I love how you just talked about, it's about creating the team, not a collection of individual people. How do you take a group of incredibly talented individuals, some who have very big egos, and get them to come together? What are the principles that you use to help create that environment and decide what team to put on the pitch?
When you have a big ego, you want to be recognized for that you are so good. No, it's because you believe you are the best in the world. If you have a big ego, but you don't respect the rules, you don't have discipline, and then you need the team to perform, the teammates are going to say, you are, but you don't respect it, you be alone. And you have an amazing, talented player, but in a bubble. Disconnect of the team. That's why it starts from the organization of every single company. Because the players are the principal actor, right? Because they earn the most money, they score goals and the headlines in the media, in the TV, like this. That is why it's so difficult. But they need the team, but they need the organization, but they need, the club. Yes. They need to represent someone. And I think that is so important. A structure, very solid and very clear, philosophy. And then the player when arrive, they're going to a little bit, be disappointed or complain because they want comfortable situation. They want to feel that they can do whatever they want. But in soccer or in football, if that happens, you can win one game, but you cannot win a tournament, you cannot win a World Cup, you cannot win a league, or a Premier League, or a MLS, because you need to be all together thinking in the same way.
I love that. Just to reiterate the point, no player has ever won a tournament by themselves.
Only Maradona, I think, in Mexico. No. Even Maradona or Messi in Qatar, no, or Pelé in Brazil, or I think you need the team. It's a collective.
Yeah.
Collective, and you too, the same. The company, you need everyone to be in the same. The leader, not always is right. It's not always take the best decision. We play before the Gold Cup. 2 friendly games, one against Turkey, another against Switzerland. In this day, we were so brave, too much. And when you are too much brave, sometimes you can, receive a punch in your face. I think my decision wasn't the best decision, and we lose against Switzerland 4-0. I said to Jesus, tell the player and the staff all together, and I'm going to speak for 5 minutes. And I go there, I say, look, I get the blame. That was my responsibility. And you perform in the way that you perform because I was really and my decisions were not the best. And you don't worry, head up. Our objective is the Gold Cup. You did what I asked to do, but now don't worry. I'm going to be there. And you blame me in the media if you want. I'm going to get the blame. After that, I think my feeling was that I earned the respect of the guys, being like I am, genuine and honest. And that for me is the key to create that energy that I know that the players are going to fight for us, but I'm going to fight for them. Sometimes we need some push, some help, or discover how to, I can get that from me, my best, no? And I think for plenty of players, I think that was to recognize and say, okay, I need to give my best. And they start to recognize that feeling, I like this feeling, because I feel good. When I give my best, I'm doing this and doing this, I say, I perform better. I am creating better relationship with my teammate. I am creating better relationship with my staff. I am creating better relationship with the fans, with the journalists. I think we make the life easier and better.
What is one of your happiest moments as a coach?
I don't know, but it's difficult because when you win a title, it's amazing because you provide to the people, to the fans, I think, that emotion that you cannot create with another thing, in my case, because soccer, football is everything for me. One player from Orlando is moving to Villarreal, and it's Alex Freeman, and helping him to earn that possibility to play in one of the best teams in Spain, in one of the best leagues in the world, for us it's like we feel so proud. And when you receive that message, say, thank you, coach, for believing in me, it's only that, because I didn't teach him, we didn't teach him, that is the truth. When that recognition came, it's like to win a title. When we won in Paris Saint-Germain, was similar happiness to win the league or to win a cup, that recognition for a player that you change their life, no? You change the life of this guy because you put the faith, the belief, and you are in a small percentage part of his success.
Could you feel it? Right?
If you don't feel, tell me, please.
Yeah, you feel. Watching you answer that question.
In English, eh?
In English?
Because I start to learn English with 40-year-old.
You're only
10 years ago.
45 now?
How old? No, 53. Keep going.
But anyway. But I think the genuine You're so genuine.
After to beat Uruguay, I am more genuine.
All right, we're gonna shift to questions from the audience here in just 1 second. So start to prepare what you want to ask Coach. But maybe just in kind of closing out this section, right? If you could give one bit of advice for those who are aspiring to be better, to make themselves better.
We were talking before.
Yeah.
I come from a very small town in Murphy, in the middle of nowhere. And how I grow is in the middle of with cows, with dogs, with horses, with one pair of shoes. Now I have all that I want.
Yeah.
In a place that no one judge you, no one put limits, was only your capacity to dream things. I was, growing in this way, with no fears, with no frustration, with no limit. And for me, it's about follow your desire. It's create in your mind what you want to earn, and then put the fight that you have here, your own motivation, and go, and not to have a fear. Always I say, mistake is not a problem. The problem is if you fear to make the mistake. That is a big problem.
Yeah.
Because it's a limitation.
Yes.
And that for me is my advice to the players. I don't know if I can translate to you, but I think you need to go and try to hunt what you want, is to, to give your best. Things like now make us to be more, lazy, comfortable, give up with the first barrier or first problem. It's so difficult. It's so far. No, come on. It's start. It's not to think in this way, because all this negativity is only put limit, and then it's a bad luck. Nah, bad luck, no, my friend. It's no bad luck. It's you give up, and if you try, for sure one day you find, because every time that you try and you fail, I think you are intelligent. It's part of the, to learn and to grow and to be more intelligent, and it's part of the successful, no?
Oh, we have is it John?
Perfect. All right, thanks for being here, Coach.
Stand up.
Oh, yeah. All right, thanks for being here, Coach. I guess having spent your whole life with football clubs, what was the biggest surprise and maybe the biggest challenge transitioning from being a player to being a coach, and how did you handle that?
The difference is massive, but you don't realize until you cross the line from the field to the outside of the field. Because players need to be arrogant, need to be egoist, need to be all this, have all this quality that are opposite and after the quality that you need to be a good coach. And for me, it's that, because when you are a player, you think in yourself, and of course you think in your team if you are a good player in your team. But when you are a coach, it's 24 hours thinking, knowing you in all the organization, because you need to perform, and to perform depend of many of different things that can happen in different areas. That is why for us it's key that every single area have an organization own leadership, but also the communication in between the areas must be perfect.
So communication is obviously very important.
Yeah, communication is tactic. That is tactic, communication.
Who else? Next question. Yeah, go for it.
Oh, thank you for being here. I was wondering, in your opinion, what is the best soccer drill?
The best,
Soccer drill?
best training exercise, practice.
I think everything is important. No, it's true. Every single drill is important. That is my first time that I received that question, But it's true, because you say to me, one drill is the most important. I think all are important, because all the phases of the game are very important. Because one fail, the ball is for the opponent. Or you cannot get the ball back for you. I don't know if the answer is make you happy or no.
No, I'm very happy.
Good.
No, very good. Yeah, over here.
I'm wondering how you deal with the role of luck in soccer, and do you ever feel like you played well enough to win, but just got unlucky, and does that make you like feel better, or how do you deal with that?
Oh, how do you deal with luck in soccer? Meaning, you can be the best, but you don't win.
To accept,
Accept it.
accepting. Always I say, it's a percentage, depend of the coaches. You say 5%, 10%, 15% that you cannot control. If you accept that it's a percentage on the game that is about luck, it's about the opponent, it's about the referee decisions, it's about the VAR, it's about things that you, because that is true. Today, Dan is in a perfect condition, and we are we are working, and it's going to be the striker that is going to be decisive tomorrow in the game. But it's
I've been waiting for you to say that.
you are going to yeah, exactly. No, but you are going to sleep, and in the morning he's sick. That is bad luck. Is luck? Is I don't know. It's some percentage of touch the post and go out, or touch the post and go in. If we accept that percentage exists, I think you provide the team the capacity to connect with the energy that can provide things more for you than the opponent. If you won't control 100% the game, you become crazy because you put too much pressure on the player. If you don't accept that game have some percentage that you cannot control, you put too much pressure on the team, too much pressure on the player. And we need to create habit, we need to practice, we need to be consistent every day. How you express yourself also is to translate in training, how you are going to translate in the competition. How you are going to compete if the habit that you are creating is not to be 100%. And that is, for me, is the wrong mindset that sometimes people create. And here we were fighting in this country a little bit with this idea, no? And coaches also. No, but it's a friendly game. Why you are going to take a risk with some player to bring some player or like this? But come on, how we are going to create the connection in between the team, in between your teammate? If you are 1 month you are spending with your team, I don't know where, in Spain, in Italy, in England, I don't know, and then we have the possibility to be 10 days together, 2 games, and okay, I play, but I no connect with you because, no, come on. No, that is really, really important, the message. But that is why, I think for me, that question that you asked me is important to accept and to translate to the player that to manage and to have better luck, you need to try to be connected with the game.
Thank you.
There are always like 1 to 2.
Where are you from?
From China. Yeah, there are always 1 to 2 players, star players, key players in the squad, like no matter in Chelsea or the national team. So how do you balance between the key players versus the other players, and then how do you utilize their influence and leadership to help you manage the team?
For me, are all key players, and then they earn to be key players, performing. But if you are if we nominate you like a key player, but after you don't perform, you are no key player. And maybe the key player was another that you didn't think that was the most important player. I don't know if you understand.
Yeah.
We sometimes we say, no, that is a key player, that is a key player. No, the key player after the game. Oh, was the key player. But before, all are key players. You need to earn. If not this, oh, I am the key player, I don't move. Give me the ball in my feet. No, I don't run. I don't defend. I don't do this. No, because he's the key player. Maybe because we are confused because Messi is the key player. No? Messi, yes, is the key player. But the rest, we are all the same. No?
Yep. You know, we have a value here. One of our values is meritocracy. And I think you just
But
described
Messi,
it.
you assess Messi for ¿cómo you say?
Meritocracy.
Meritocracy. ¿Cómo?
Yeah, meritocracy.
Meritocracy, okay.
Yeah. Well, if Messi can trade, you know.
Now, Messi can do whatever he wants.
Question everyone has on their mind. I've got my U.S. scarf here. Everyone's all ready to go. Can we win?
Yes, of course. But I think we need to keep improving and deserve to win,
Yeah.
doing the right things. Of course, in soccer, in football, anything is possible, everything is possible. And when I said that we can win, we can win, we can win. Of course, we need some help for the universal energy. Maybe the president can help, and, and the fans. Without the fans, it's impossible to win. That is why, guys, it was a pleasure to be with you, to feel your energy. I hope that you feel my energy, but to feel also that you were amazing, the organization. Without you, it's impossible. Without the fans, without the people that love soccer and support us, it's impossible because that is the energy that the player needs. I think only what I can say is, come on, believe in the team, believe in yourself, believe in your country, believe that we are going to try to make you to feel really proud about what they are going to see on the field. And the goal is to win, but also that you really feel proud about what you are going to see and spend lovely time every time that the national team play.
Well, I think you could say
Thank you.
So with that, I think we believe.
Vamos.
And with that, thank you, Mauricio.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.